The U.S. Supreme Court handed Donald Trump a major victory on Monday as he campaigns to regain the presidency, overturning a judicial decision that had excluded him from Colorado's ballot under a constitutional provision involving insurrection for inciting and supporting the January 6 Capitol attack. Now back in 2021, the justices unanimously have reversed a December 19 decision by Colorado's top court to kick Donald Trump off the state's Republican primary ballot on Tuesday after finding the United States Constitution's 14th Amendment disqualified him from again holding public office.
Well, thank you very much. I want to start by thanking the Supreme Court for its unanimous decision today. It was a very important decision. We're very well crafted, and I think it will go a long way toward bringing our country together, which our country needs. And they worked long, they worked hard, and frankly, they worked very quickly on something that will be spoken about 100 years from now and 200 years from now. Extremely important. Essentially, you cannot take somebody out of a race because an opponent would like to have it that way. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's the leading candidate, whether it was the leading candidate or a candidate that was well down on the totem pole. You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that, and the Supreme Court saw that very well. And I really do believe that will be a unifying factor, because while most states were thrilled to have me, there were some that didn't, and they didn't want that for political reasons. They didn't want that because of poll numbers, because the poll numbers are very good. We're beating President Biden in almost every poll. New York Times came out yesterday with a very big poll for us. So they didn't like that, and you can't do that. You can't do what they tried to do.
Well, to know more on this, we have Anand Ahuja, New York-based attorney, Vice President of the Indian Americans for Trump, joining us. We also have Ajay Jain Baturia, the Vice Chair, Presidential Inaugural Committee, AIPI Leadership and National Finance Committee member, Biden for President 2020, joining us. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. Let me take my first question to Anand Ahuja. Sweeping and historic ruling that has brushed aside a lawsuit claiming that Donald Trump disqualified himself from office because of his actions that took place on the 6th of January in 2021. But doesn't Section 3 of the 14th Amendment ban anyone who has engaged in insurrection or rebellion from office?
Yes. So basically what happened in Colorado case, it's flawed on two grounds. Number one, if you see USC 18, it says for insurrection also, the word is the person is convicted of insurrection. So far, Donald Trump has not been convicted of insurrections. There is a pending case which Supreme Court may take, Supreme Court is going to take next month that whether Trump had immunity or not. But so far, Donald Trump has not been convicted of insurrection. So Section 3 of Article 14 applies only and only in that condition when a person has been convicted. Secondly, the second ground on which Colorado case was flawed, because it's a federal law. So state has no jurisdiction to decide whether a federal election a person going in for a federal election can be removed from the ballot or not. So it's a federal election. It's only the federal government federal court can decide on that particular issue. States cannot decide. As for the Article 10 of the United States Constitution, it's very clearly mentioned. There is a demarcation of powers. The powers not granted by the state to the federal government remains with the state, and powers not granted by the public it remains with the public. So powers not granted by public to state remain with public, and powers not granted by state to the federal government remain with the state. However, when it's a question of federal laws, only federal laws apply in federal cases, not the state laws. So Colorado case basically was dealing with a federal law in a state matter.
Right. Let me get in Ajay Jain Baturia as well. A unanimous court ruled that an individual state could not dump the former president from the ballot. Only the Congress has the power.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, U.S. is a land of the law, and we value the rule of the law. So the rule of the law is allowing Trump to continue on the ballot, but he's the one who's proudly bragging about getting rid of Roe versus Wade and banning abortions nationwide. He's the one who has already said that he would be dictator day one. He's the one who has said that he would deport folks who are protesting in support of Palestine. He's the one who has said, and we should believe in what he says. And Donald Trump is threatening to dismantle our democracy and destroy our freedoms. And so that the people are going to decide. He has over 91 charges on which he is being, pursued in the different court and different matters of, justice in court for 91 charges. So the people are going to decide that do they really want this guy to come and destroy our freedom. On the other hand, Joe Biden is bringing down cost for middle class. He's the lowest unemployment in history. Is bringing manufacturing in the country. Is leading the country on the foreign wars. Is through the Ukraine war or through various other fronts. And he's growing economy for the country and working for the people of the country. And this fight is for the restoring the freedom of our country. So we'll see. I mean, people will decide. I mean.
Right. Anand Ahuja, the court has unanimously, decided in reversing the Colorado ruling against the former president of the United States. What kind of impact will this ruling have on Trump's campaign?
I think it's a very good decision. It has given a couple of messages. Number one message is that, as Mr. Baturia mentioned, that this is the land of laws. So this particular case has proved that this is a land of laws. Secondly, the false perception created by Democrats that United States Supreme Court is biased because there are 6 conservative judges. It has proved that it's not only the conservative judges who have given this decision, but 3 liberal justices also have joined in giving this particular decision. So basically, it will have a long-lasting impact on this presidential election. For your kind information, besides Colorado, there are other 16 states who had filed similar lawsuits. Out of these 16 states, 11 states they filed this lawsuit in federal courts, and 4 states they have filed in the state court, and Colorado is one of those 16 states. So with this particular decision, automatically those cases in those 16 states will be dismissed. So another big thing I would like to point out to Ajay, he mentioned about Roe versus Wade. In Roe versus Wade, also the Supreme Court decision is that it's beyond the jurisdiction of the federal court. This matter is to be decided by the states. So they have given back to the states, and again reinforcing the fact that 10th Amendment is very clear that the powers not given by the public to the states lies with the public, and powers not given by the state to the federal government lies with the state. So Supreme Court's decision, Roe versus Wade, is exactly reflecting the same, that we do not have power. This power is to be given back to the states. Let states at their own level decide to what extent they want to implement Roe versus Wade in their particular states or not.
Right, Anand Ahuja, also it's been 3 years since Donald Trump, faced almost no consequences, 0 consequences since the 6th of January 2021. What does this signify?
So basically,
see, definitely.
Yes, please go ahead.
Question is me too or Ajay?
Yeah, Mr. Baturia, you can answer it.
Yeah. So we see that what happens on January 6th. The whole land of the law was broken, and they were protested, and they were almost going to destroy the institution where our lawmakers make the most important laws for the country. And that was it's evident on the media, evident that Donald Trump has incited that, and that is a case which is pending out, and let the law take its action. But that is what is Donald Donald Trump is going to do to the country is going to divide the country, is going to destroy the freedom of our people. And that is what this 2024 election is about, the freedom of our country to continue to restore the soul of our nation. And that's where President Biden and Vice President Harris is fighting this fight. And I must tell you that over 4.5 million Indo-Americans who are in this country, the South Asian people of origin of South Asian, they are going to play a crucial role in this victory for President Biden, and they are going to be the margin of victory in the battleground states, and they are strongly supporting President Biden.
Right, so the outcome ends the efforts that have been made in Colorado, Illinois, Maine and other states like Mr. Ahuja was pointing out. Of course, with this unanimous decision that has been taken, it also means that any state would be overstepping its power by trying to knock Donald Trump off the ballot. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us.